We are
and
now.
Michael's in here too.
Hmm?
I didn't scroll down far enough of the article that we're going to talk about later. Michael's in here as well.
Really?
Michael.
Like you?
Mailer. He's
Oh.
part of my committee for my event and is on the board. Well, he's actually on several boards.
Oh.
Mike, we have joked that Michael is the center of everything gay in our county. And has been. He runs the news, what used to be a newsletter print publication that also has a website that puts on the picnic. Used to put on the picnic that I've worked on, and anyways.
Got it.
He's the one his face has been in the press the entire time, anytime if they want an opinion from the community, because no one else wanted to talk.
Oh, so if they want to talk to the gays in Erie, they talk to him.
Well, because for decades, he was the only one willing to get in front of a camera and talk to the press. Everybody else was too closeted or scared or whatever.
So we have a gay we have a breaking gay news story. Who should we reach out to? Michael. Oh, yeah. Okay, her. Okay, let me get her on speed dial.
Well, and to be fair, because he runs a press publication and he knows how to do press releases and has always been engaged on that level, he just kind of became the nexus of all that and has run mailing lists and things, so he has access to people's information and he kind of knows, if you want to know anybody who knows someone, he's probably the one. Strange as it
where
is.
You are.
Correct.
He's the press secretary of the Erie gay community.
Maybe? I don't know.
I'm just going to burn it out there.
So, speaking of gay things, because today is obviously the gayest day of the year. Last night, my bestie Heather's up visiting. We watched the new Dolly Parton documentary on Netflix.
Oh.
I highly suggest people go check it out. I didn't want to wait, obviously, because I'm talking about it now, till our month recap. It was funny. We were talking after we got to watching the documentary, and I said to H, I was like, she's a drag queen. She has been a drag queen pretty much early on in her musical career. The wig lines, the jewelry, the clothing, the makeup, you name it. She's pretty much always been a drag queen. The body modifications. She's just,
oh God,
presumed to be a biological woman who has presented herself in a certain way. So yeah. But no, it's a really good documentary. I really liked what it covered. I don't think this is giving anything away. I will say this now, and then people can report back to me later. I think her current manager is family. As it was pointed out by my other besties that I messaged, I was like, oh, I think you guys should really check this out. And they're like, we watched it last night. I was like, oh. I said, did you think the current manager is family? They're like, well, he doesn't have a wedding band. And
which this day and age doesn't necessarily mean anything.
No, but as I replied, he did seem a little fey. For those that are old enough of us to know what that even means.
Wink.
Because obviously I'm showing my age with such a comment.
Is he?
Is she a friend of Judy's?
Or Dorothy's?
Oh, that's true. It was Dorothy.
Anyway.
We just had hello said to us in 4 different languages.
Ooh. I just realized I'm not watching the live chat yet. I was like, whoops.
All we had was Owen saying aloha, konnichiwa, hola, bonjour.
Mm-hmm.
Bonjour, 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 bonjour. Sorry.
Okay, I gotta stop. Damn it.
Ooh, why is this not working? Oh, because I turned my Wi-Fi off. That's why. Get back to this. Okay. Load. Does she answer to Mary? Who answer to Mary?
The people who make TikTok were
the
original
manager?
people who made Vine.
Are they the same people? I don't think so, but I could.
I know there was Vine. Then Vine became or was bought by Twitter, and then was killed by Twitter.
I don't know. Well, there's a lot of stuff about comparing the two as to which is better online, but that's not really.
I only asked because of Owen's link to Danny Franzese's Instagram, which links to his TikTok or to a TikTok.
Oh, I think now a lot of the social media stuff has been like multi-integrated. Like Tweeter, I think, is a software that you can use to manage all your different Twitter accounts. So I'm pretty sure. What the hell's the name of the application? Oh, I can't remember because I haven't had to use it. But Michael, speaking of him earlier, he manages it, and it's one software that like multi posts. Like it'll post to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What else?
Yeah. These type of programs have been around for a while.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they relay from one to the other, or like multi-platform bounce, carry stuff over.
Well, it's kind of like the integration that we have on the website, which only does a few places.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Okay.
Should we do a show?
We can do a show.
Yeah, we can.
Might be a good idea.
What is this? No, don't open. Oh. What are you...
Did you click a link that we weren't supposed to?
It's trying to open my other Skype.
Oh.
Okay. I think I'm all right.
Okay. Let's hope so.
Empty taskbar. Close this Skype. And there we go. All right.
Ready?
Otherwise, I'm going to try to open the wrong one. Yeah. Good. Sorry.
Wait. All right. Here we go. I'm waiting for Damon to stop playing with this man.
Why?
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Go ahead. Sorry. I just want to put a blanket over my legs because I'm wearing shorts. It's a little cool in here.
All right. Here we go. And a 3. And a 2. And a 1. It's October 11th, 2020. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I don't brew the tea, I just serve it.
And that makes me Gary.
Don't hurt nobody with your bad self.
Welcome to Cubs Out Loud, the Bear Podcast of Indeterminate Length, episode number 573. Almost forgot what it was. 573. It's something like that. Yeah.
Oh, you can't. Damn it, you can't see this.
It's National Coming Out Day! Like today, right? That's the 11th, right? Right?
Yes.
I knew it's like October something. Not very good at the numbers.
It is officially National Coming Out Day this year, 2020.
Yay!
Yes.
If you haven't realized from the over 10 years of Cubs Out Loud, we're gay. I know. It's a surprise. Damon and I, kind of half me, because no one can see it, but the other two here, goofballs here. But we've got a nice little image of coming out. It's normally a GIF, but because of things that don't work very well with Skype, it doesn't animate. But
yeah, and it's also big apparently because
it's also square, and we got like the more rectangular versus square.
Yeah,
which saying that is weird because a square is a rectangle, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Geometry.
I was very good at math. I didn't like to. My grades wouldn't say it, but that's only because I didn't show my work. I got the right answers. They just wanted me to show the work, and I'm like, no, this is the answer. So I must have done it right if I got the answer right.
Oh. Anyway,
so
it's coming out,
Gary. What is ... NCOD?
Yeah, so NCOD stands for National Coming Out Day, and hang on a moment because I didn't link it. We have actually covered this topic before.
Oh.
5 years ago.
Oh.
It's a refresher course.
So it's been a little while since we covered it. If you give me just a second, I'll look it up on
the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, scroll through that thing.
October 11, 2015, episode 334, I'm Coming Out.
Ooh.
And you better get this party started.
Well, that's not the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ow.
Copyright infringement all over the place.
No, it's not copyright infringement. It's fair use because we're not using the actual audio and we're just saying the lyrics. It's fine.
Well, I bet if we did, actually play the lyric.
By the way, I just want to say that I prefer this really bassy version of "Get the Party Started" over the pink version. Don't get me wrong, I really like the pink version too.
Right.
It's just Shirley Bassey. I mean, it's Shirley Bassey. Do I need to say more?
Yeah. I mean, you might, because not everyone is, you know.
If you don't know Shirley Bassey, there's something wrong with you. You need to get that hole punched on your gay card. I'm done.
Anyway.
Is it this one or this one? So yeah, 5 years ago, we all talked about this before. But it's a little while. So I thought we might give ourselves just a little refresher, so to speak.
And kind of updates, because we do have a few links of newer stuff that has happened, which one of them is great just because of the butts, but not because they show them, but because when you see them doing their normal work.
Right.
Plus, there are times with packages, and even though I think they're supposed to be wearing cups, but just saying.
Yeah.
So Gary, what is National Coming Out Day?
So we did discuss it, I think, in the previous episode, so we don't need to do a full breakdown, but there's going to be a series of links. One of them is to Wikipedia, which gives some history. So National Coming Out Day, or NCOD, is observed on October 11th in the history. It was inaugurated in 1988, which would now be 32 years ago. And it was done by two people, Robert Eichberg and Jean O'Leary. Eichberg has since passed on from complications from AIDS, but they did it kind of as a piece to go in line with the anniversary of the 1987 National March on Washington. So there has been an observance every year since then, from 99 until 2014. The Human Rights Campaign Fund announced a theme to go with NCOD every year, but they haven't in the past 6 years, which I found interesting. Because the gays, they love a theme. So I found it odd that we stopped doing a theme, kind of like World AIDS Day every year has a theme. There's usually like a global theme, and then the AIDS Coalition in the US kind of does a theme, which kind of bothers me because I'm like, why can't we just have one and be done with it instead of confusing or conflicting stuff? So I don't know quite why they stopped doing a theme every year for NCOD, but
I'm one of those weird gays who is like, not everything needs a theme, Janet.
Well, that's true. That's true. So yeah,
but how
can we celebrate the thing?
Like how will I know how to accessorize?
You know what? When you come out, you have to be yourself. So why don't you just be yourself?
Done.
There.
True.
There's your theme, bitch. I like the disappearing Damon when he throws up shade.
Nice. Yeah, the shade is still there. It's just Damon isn't there. It's kind of like a magic act.
There we go. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it. Maybe can I do it that way? Oh, you can't see it. Oh, wait. Let me try the other one.
Oh.
Nope.
No. Shit. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine.
Right. So
learning things about Skype magic.
Yeah. So initially the idea was grounded that the feminist and gay liberation spirit of the personal being political was kind of the emphasis about coming out to so that people would learn that they actually do know people who are LGBTQ. Actually at the time it was just LGBT. Because visibility was the key factor. Lots of people would kind of say that they don't know any gays or lesbians or bisexuals or trans people. And the concept was, well, actually, if you come out to other people, then they do know them. And it makes more of an impact in terms of our social well-being, our mental health, and can make our broader human community more diverse. And I think it has had some good positive ripple effects. I think the advances that have happened in terms of our communities are because of visibility. So
True. That is true. I think, where I would say where we were probably in the 80s. I mean, granted, some of us weren't really, while we were alive, we may not have been aware, but I think from strides from the beginnings to now have been, monumental in terms of visibility. We still have some ways to go. We still have some issues to get through, and hopefully not backtrack on certain things as we go into the current election year. But for the most part, we've made great strides. I'm happy and blessed that we have.
Yeah. And so over time, I think coming out has been less celebrated as celebrities have come out or been more open. I don't know if I want to say honest, as they've been more forthcoming about their personal into the public realm. I think there's been less and less importance because I think we've entered a new concept in society where it's oh yeah, they're gay. So people, I don't want to say are indifferent about it, but it's kind of revealing your spirituality or your religion. It used to be for a long time, we used to talk about the hidden minorities. So Damon cannot kind of hide his race, his ethnicity. He has no choice but to wear it, apparent to the world. That's what would be considered an observable aspect of being a minority. Hidden minorities are usually about things that people don't know about you. So LGBTQIA plus tends to be called a hidden minority. Your spiritual, religious choices are sometimes considered a hidden minority. It's an aspect of you that people were not aware of or not easily apparent, I guess. So Yeah, I think that, as more and more individuals have come forward and people are aware, and as society progresses, I guess is how I want to say it, like younger generations have less interest in it being a thing, quote unquote. So I don't want to say they're indifferent, but they're just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's become more of a quote unquote norm. It's like, oh, that's just another thing, and not something where it's like, you're gay.
right, because there were few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's a lot of people who are out, but I think the celebrity visibility and the HRC index, the fact that corporations, companies, entities have been involved in Pride year after year, like a lot of that definitely makes an impression on folks, and that it's all about visibility. And I think the more that there's awareness and visibility, the less I don't know how else to say it, like oddity there is, or fetishization maybe, that is, I think for a long time there was kind of like this strange phase of, oh, I know a gay, and it's like, actually you probably know a bunch of gays, you just don't know that yet. So
Probably know several.
It's definitely a different atmosphere than it would have been like when I came out back in the late 90s. I mean, despite the fact that I should have come out like 4, maybe 5 years before that, but first I need to come out to myself, for that matter. That time of that sort of thing being broadly acceptable was not it. In just the 20 plus years that it's been since I come out, things have changed so much to make it where people coming out is less of a scandal, if a scandal at all.
Yeah.
Or people have less to fear because other people understand that this is just a thing, that it's out there. It's not that big of a deal because that's just them saying who they are.
Right.
And it's not, it's just like, I don't like fish. Oh, you don't like fish? Oh, okay. I'm gay. Oh, you're okay? Okay.
Right.
It's just the how it ends up being, and people just think of it as just learning something new, like anything else about somebody.
Yeah. And so with like awareness and that kind of stuff, I don't know how many more frontiers there are to coming out. But one of them recently that surprised me because I didn't see this on the radar. So there's a couple links here. One of them is about that the NFL, yes, that NFL, the National Football League, one of what is sometimes referred to as one of the manliest sports in American sports industry, created a National Coming Out Day campaign video. So there will be 2 links. One is to the CNN article about it, which came out just yesterday on the 10th, I think. And then there's also going to be a link to the 30-second promo public service announcement video on YouTube. And basically, so the Football League is celebrating National Coming Out Day with a video featuring openly gay and bisexual former players such as Ryan O'Callahan, Jeff Rohr, R.K. Russell, and Wade Davis, encouraging current LGBTQ players to come out. It goes on to say that they are also joined by others in the league who are supportive but do not identify. And so when you watch it, it is not a presumption that everybody in the video is LGBTQ. But some have come out. Notably, everyone that's in the video came out after they retired. So that's kind of shining a spotlight on the fact that there are no current out players in the NFL, which has its whole thing to deal with in that case. So I thought that was very interesting because if I had to guess, professional sports here in the U.S. is probably one of the last frontiers in which out individuals are like non-existent and or not represented.
Yeah. It's been interesting, like watching the NFL especially progress. They have especially within the last year, or hell, the last few months, honestly, they have gotten a little bit more progressive, respectful of their stances on matters that are probably, political hot button topics kind of thing. And this is kind of a great, I'm happy that they came out with it. No pun intended. But I hope that it is a sign that there's going to be more respectability and understanding of, like, the people who are different that were in their league of manliness, as it were. Because it's there is a history. There is a very tarnished history in the NFL in regards to, like, LGBT people and other minorities. So I hope that they are going to. This is the start of, if not the continuation of, more things to come.
Well, and as you said, this is considered to be like one of the more manly ones. So this was probably the sport out of all the major sports that I know of that where this type of promo, this type of thing, I would think they would be the last one to do it. But as far as I'm aware, they're the first one to do it. I don't remember anything like basketball related or baseball related on this sort of thing, and it's just kind of like, wow, this is huge in my opinion, and especially because they're like, as we speak, I don't know what football games are going on now, but apparently they're playing it during the Sunday Night Football, either later tonight or they played it already. I don't know because I don't work Sundays.
Depending on when it aired. Yeah. When football was airing tonight, you feel like it probably aired tonight.
Well, I will tell you this from my experience having to do DVR audits for several hundred channels of football games. There's a lot of football going on Sundays.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes,
there's a lot of football. So football has already started today. So, but yeah, this I was pleasantly surprised about. I wouldn't say shocked or I can't believe it. I'm like, oh, it was just it was something unexpected. In my opinion.
Agreed.
So, and I really appreciate it, especially getting the people who they know what those LGBTQ people in the football league are feeling right now, and they want to show first, hey, I came out, you can come out, and then seeing the people who are currently in the league, while they may not be identified as LGBTQIA, they at least are there being like, hey, we're here, and we don't care if you're queer. We're here. If you are, we're here to support you, and showing that the people who are already in the league and are active players, that if someone does come out, and I also like the fact that they say when you're ready, which is one thing about National Coming Out Day. It's like, hey, if you're looking to come out and you want to try to get something to kind of like put it all together as being like a day to do it, a deadline to do it, or something like that. National Coming Out Day, good day to do it. Do you need to? No, because you really need to do it when you are ready to do it. We're not trying to. National Coming Out Day's message isn't come out now. It's trying to show the support that you do have the support structure that if you do come out, you are still loved by people. So, and having that message inside this video, which is how I'm feeling it, and I found it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Cool.
Good on the NFL. I'm sorry. I purchased baseball masks instead of football masks, but I will now think I'll pop over to Fanatics and get some Vikings masks. I have to get Vikings mask, although I probably should get a Cowboys mask just because I live in Texas. But the thing. Anyways, moving on.
Anyway.
I will say that at the end of the video, there's a great multicolored version of the NFL logo that I like. It's not the traditional 6 colors. I think it's the modified 8. But it's the only place I've ever seen that version of the logo, and I was kind of discouraged because I was looking around because I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool. And I wanted to like draw attention to that like specific thing. Like, hey, look, because I know in the Major League Baseball, a number of sports teams have done pride versions of their own logo and stuff. So I wasn't able to spot that necessarily anywhere. So yeah. I think the NFL obviously still has more room to, do things.
I think I found it.
And I do have to say that NFL, I recommend that you start putting out merchandise because I appreciate people who do merchandise stores and make money off of us from these things more because they know we're there. They know we're a community, and I'm good with it. So
I just realized I shared it through Skype, so it might show up on the.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, good. Thank God. Woo.
Oh, nice little rainbow NFL logo.
Yeah. With all 8 colors. Yeah.
Celebrats? Come on, people. Spell check your shit.
5, 6, 7, 8. If they got like
Celebrates.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, they got the 6 base colors of the rainbow and then brown and black.
The black and brown. The black and brown colors, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's the national coming out. There's with it from the video. It takes all of us. Huh. Good to know. Sorry, this is what Google Images does to me. You gave me a challenge, Gary.
Sorry. No, but it's good that you found the stuff. They actually have a Pride page with the NFL, which I find interesting. That has the color logo on it.
Yeah.
This is from back in 2019. Anyways, so yeah, that was one new development this year that I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
To talk about and draw some attention to for this year's National Coming Out Day. Cyndi Lauper. Yes, that's Cyndi Lauper. Girls Just Want to Have Fun herself released a new lyric video on YouTube for her song Time After Time for National Coming Out Day. So this is a Rolling Stone article. And in this particular article, they end up linking, or I think they have embedded the YouTube video, and it's kind of like the paper craft art style that you may have seen some artists do. So it's just her traditional original release of the song, but it has obviously a whole new imagery to it. So it is putting up all the lyrics to the song as it moves along, but it's kind of fun to watch how it like pops up the words, but then it also has all this imagery. So there's lots of rainbow stuff, different types of couples coming together and embracing. So yeah, it's created by Malika Holder, a 22-year-old graphic designer, an animator, illustrator from the UK. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I will only ask if we can update the link title to spell the correct name of Cindy.
Oh, yeah. That's easily doable.
Sorry. Anal retentive Damon. Because I love Cyndi Lauper. So, yeah. Cindy.
There we go.
Yay.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. And I was like, she's always
Yeah.
been a huge ally advocate of the community. So I was like, neat. So actually, like the whole point of all these links and stuff was I was like, oh, there appears to be a bunch of things happening. You know, so that appears to be a repeat link. I don't know why.
The Today article?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's fine.
I must have goofed that.
It's okay.
Also, as a surprise to me, Facebook Coming Out 2020, celebrating National Coming Out Day. Yesterday on the app, they posted a 45-minute video in which Demi Lovato and Tan France kind of host a discussion about Coming Out Day. And there is a storyline throughout the course of the 45 minutes where they follow a Black gentleman coming out to either, I didn't watch the whole thing yet, either to his best friend and or family member, which I thought was a really good aspect of kind of showing someone's journey in coming out. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
I've wanted to watch that. I just didn't have time. I'll probably try to look at it after we are done today.
Yeah.
I will, though. I appreciate. I don't know if you have the Facebook app on your phone. I believe it's still showing up. Let me check real quick. They have in their little, like the Facebook part, they have a little animated graphic for National Coming Out Day. It starts with like a person looking into a mirror and then a person embracing them, and then all of the little, the letters in Facebook become other people, and it kind of becomes this like proud and out kind of moment. And I was really happy to see that. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
And they've actually had it, I think, all weekend. Because this year, I think it wasn't just today. Like, I've been seeing people celebrating coming out like all weekend long. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just thinking I'm noticing. I noticed it a lot more today, but I've seen it all weekend. So that's kind of cool. I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Damon. I think this year of all the years I've seen more representation for a longer period of time around NCOD. Like, I don't think it's making the splash to the level I personally would like it to. And it's really difficult to gauge it because, like, Pride is a beast in and of itself. Like Pride Month, Pride Weekend, like everything is like, shoving rainbows down your throat, kind of like obnoxious in a way. So this isn't to that level. So, it's coming across a little bit more to me like a heritage celebration kind of thing, which is not a good equivalent, but that's kind of the scale I see a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the last link here is app.com, a website I've not heard of before, that you can subscribe to. And it's kind of like I get the feel that it's a national news kind of coverage. And so they have an article called National Coming Out Day 2020, LGBTQ members share their stories. So it's a whole series of like little brief paragraphs and videos of people talking about their stuff. And lo and behold, I was pleasantly surprised to see a video about a gentleman here in Erie that is a gay Black man that I don't know. Not that I need to know him. But I was like, oh, who are you? So, I mean, it's just not that I should know everybody, but I guess if it was a face I already knew, I'd be like, oh, okay. Like I wouldn't think anything about it. But even to me, it's refreshing to see new faces for representation and speaking out. So, yeah, And then I forgot until just before the show to keep scrolling to look through the rest of the postings. And then lo and behold, there's Michael, who in pre-show we were kind of talking about. He serves on the Drench Fur board and has been involved in the run for many years. He has been involved in, he's had his fingers in a lot of pies, I guess is the way to say it. He has, like it says in his thing, he's been out since May of 92. And he helped put together the Pride picnic that I've been involved in for decades now. Like there isn't anything that's LGBTQ that he doesn't know about or hasn't like somehow either attended or like helped promote or something. So yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool, you know, and I like the fact that it's very much, these are real people briefly telling their story to kind of put a face on something.
Nice.
I got a question. Slightly off the topic. What do you think about the fact that the United States, Canada, and Australia observe LGBT History Month, or probably now extended to LGBTQIA plus History Month, in October to coincide with National Coming Out Day? Kind of kill two birds with one stone? Because apparently it is in February in the UK and May in Ireland.
For coming out or?
For History Month.
Oh.
Well,
or it's
my
like,
first...
I'm not sure which came first because I didn't read this whole article or anything.
My first reaction is, just because Stonewall happened in June of '69 does not give us claim to like say that the whole world has to celebrate Pride in the month of June like we do.
Sure.
So if they have an equivalent in their own country, that's awesome. I'd like to learn more about it. So if it's at a different time of year, even better. You know, I'm down with celebrating Pride whenever people want to celebrate it. Like I know even in the US, even though for the most part June is considered Pride Month because of when Stonewall happened, and the hotter, lower, like contiguous 48 states of the US, that is not necessarily when Pride is celebrated because it's just too damn hot. They just want to make
sure it's not going to have heat stroke, right?
Yeah. So
and don't get me wrong, up in the north, it still can be pretty hot on National Coming Out or Pride, during Pride.
True.
But yeah,
True.
it's just like, is this trying to just like compress everything into one time, or is it more of like, or would it be better if like each of these different events, like Pride Month, June, history, LGBTQIA History Month, August, National Coming Out Day happens in October, so you kind of get these little things spread out through the entire year or something like that. This is just not throwing off. Or is it just like, hey, you know what? We need a History Month. We got National Coming Out Day that's in October. That's a great time to also have History Month, since History Month is the entire month and Coming Out Day is just one day within that month.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Like I'm looking at this. It's funny because there's LGBT. So in the United States, it's LGBT Pride Month is June, and then LGBT History Month is October.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I'm saying.
And it was started in October of '94. Sorry, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. And it was founded by Missouri high school history teacher Rodney Wilson. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm not trying to read this verbatim to everyone, but that's kind of the whole premise behind it. And okay, here we go. There we go. October was chosen by Wilson as the month for the celebration because the first and second LGBT marches on Washington in 1979 and 1987 were in October. National Coming Out Day is on October 11th, chosen to mark the date of the second March on Washington for lesbian and gay rights in 1987. And October is it within the academic calendar year. So that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, like I agree with you, Jeff. Like way back when National Coming Out Day was equivalent to or kind of as big as Pride was. I remember now thinking back like to that and being like, yeah, why are we like doing these two different things? But I think the distinction is about celebrating the history versus the pride, like the coming out or sorry, I think the distinction is one is about coming out and recognizing our history, our cultural like stuff, and the other one is just more celebratory in general. Probably if you had to clarify, I would say one is really about like our background and the other one is about our like progression of recognition and rights and stuff.
Yeah. One is kind of telling the story. One is about celebrating the story.
Right. And for those of us, we haven't talked about it yet, but with Matthew Shepard's passing in the beginning of October back in 98, I think that also has a big impact. For those of us that were alive at the time, he had been assaulted, beaten and tortured on October 6th, and then he passed away on October 12th. And I remember when he passed away, how it was just right after National Coming Out Day. And being that he was 3 years younger than me, it really had an impact on me because I think a lot of us who were close to his age, especially, felt that it could have been any of us. Culturally, as a country, we were in a very different place then. And we still might be feeling some of that now, given the current climate of what appears to be a rise in the openness of people who are homophobic, racist, misogynist, bigoted. I think that there might be some concern in terms of, folks as to whether or not they feel they can be authentically themselves. So, yeah, I mean, to me, perhaps from an outside community standpoint, the messaging may be confusing for people. They might be like, I don't get it. Like, you do this thing in June, you do this thing in October. Like, what the hell? But I guess I feel different about it. And for me, it's on a personal level. So I don't have an official day that I remember when I came out.
Same here.
I came out in the fall of 92.
I don't even remember the year. So I was in college.
I was a freshman in college. I was struggling with my sexual orientation, my concept of self-identity. I was suicidal. I didn't know quite how I was going to live my life. And so the girlfriend that I'd had in my senior year of high school had broken up with me in August, right before I went away to college. So I was really struggling with like the fact that she broke up with me and didn't give me a reason. And then all of that resolved itself anyways, because then I finally got a chance to talk to her and find out. And then I was like, well, that was a lame ass reason. But anyways, well, it was. I'll talk about it another time. But so I chose for myself to adopt National Coming Out Day as my coming out day. Because if I started college in mid-August of 92 and I was in class sessions, but it wasn't my birthday yet, then it's probably right around the very beginning of October, perhaps really close to October 11th when I finally came out to myself and then started coming out to other people. I had known since I was a teenager that I was attracted to male represented, individuals, and that I liked that, but I struggled for a very long time with my attraction. And it wasn't until I actually met gay individuals in my freshman year of college that I was like, oh, like I'm in an environment where that's okay. And that was the beginning of my coming out process. So now, fast forward to 2020, and I'm like thinking back and I'm like, oh, girl, that was 28 years ago. Like if we're still doing this in 2 years from now, I will have been out for 30 years.
Happy gay anniversary.
Right? Thank you. So like I was just saying recently to some people I know that are very close to me, I couldn't have pictured when I was like that troubled and suicidal when I was younger what my life was going to become.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I lived through that and came out the other side has been a key motivational factor to even when my life gets really bad. And I struggle with severe depression, with, despair, and
Mm-hmm.
really questioning what I'm going to do with my life and the choices that I've made and where I am. I never, I didn't get back to that point only because I already had lived through it and knew how it can be on the other side.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I don't want to say that it was all like positive
Mm-hmm.
because it's, there's ups and downs. But I've had so many good experiences like in the 28 years since then. I have now developed a chosen family. All of my best friends are people since that time in my life. Um, and I've had some really great experiences, and I don't regret my decisions that I've made because I believe that they've made me better as a person.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, so for me, National Coming Out Day has a very personal significance, but it's not because I chose to come out on October 11th. Um, I don't know what the date was, and I don't know if there's any way I could ever find out. The closest I could probably get is to find Rich Woolley wherever you are in the universe, sweetheart. Because I lost touch with you from college. You're the first person I ever came out to. And child, ooh, she was something else. Skinny, black, clarinet player in the marching band, gave no fucks any second of the day. She
Nice.
was so flaming out. She burned and scorched everything everywhere she went. And actually repressed and scared some of us in our freshman year of college because she was so much to deal with.
Mm.
And come to find out, a small grouping of us came out to him slowly, one by one by one.
Oh.
And I think she kind of got tired of us, and it was kind of like, oh, y'all need to talk to each other. I ain't got time for this. Like, because we all knew each other, but we weren't
Yeah.
coming out to
But
each
you were
other.
Each other. Yeah.
We were coming out to Rich, and he was kind of like, no, child, I ain't got time for this. Like,
No. Like you, and you. Like, I'm not going to tell you why you all need to talk to each other, but you all need to talk to each other.
right, y'all are sisters. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
And then we all kind of did. A group of us, we came out in our freshman year to each other. We're still, for the most part, in touch with each other, at least via Facebook.
Nice.
We're not, as tight as we were back then necessarily, but yeah, it's been an interesting journey since then.
Yeah.
Two of us have gotten married.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm trying to think through all the things. Like one became a corporate international language interpreter, I believe. One is a principal of a school district. Yeah, I mean, like, we've all kind of gone on to interesting things in our personal lives. But so, like, if we could timeline it back, like, he's the only one I could get a shorter window to approximate. If for some reason he could even remember the night I went and talked to him in his room down the hall from mine, and
28 years ago.
Right, and confide in him, girl, you remember when I came and talked to you, and you were like, get out of my room, because his philosophy was kind of like, child, people know, and I was like, what? He was like, you ain't fooling nobody, like, so. He was something else.
Oh yeah.
Still is probably to this day. I just never met anybody who was like not extravagantly flamboyant, but just so authentically honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it was scary yet refreshing at the same time. I remember I was like, what the hell? Like okay.
Yeah.
Like you a different kind of being. And then Yeah. And then, like, not that it's infectious, but then after that, I apparently became very obnoxious and annoying. Because in my freshman year, one of my best friends from college, I'll never forget, like in my sophomore year, Stephanie said to me, she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad that you grew out of that." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh, you were obnoxious." And I was like, "Oh, come on." And she's like, No, you don't understand. Everything was gay. Like that tree was gay, that flagpole was gay, that stop sign was gay. Like she's like, everything was gay. Gay, 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 gay. Everything needed to have a pride sticker on it. Everything needed it. Like she's like, you were a lot.
It's kind of one of those things where it's like, when you finally do it,
Yeah.
it just kind of releases a dam which kind of floods everything with gayness for a while, and then it calms down.
Yeah.
It's probably what was happening. It's like you come out, you feel, oh, it's a breath of fresh air. It's all open and gay.
Right.
And then eventually you're like, yeah, you know what? Being gay is just like what I was doing before.
Yeah. You don't have to. You don't have to push it. Like, yeah, you don't have to. You can calm down just a little bit.
Push it. Push it real good.
Anyway. Yeah,
that's not usually the Push It song that I usually sing whenever I hear Push It. He's like, "This is the noise that keeps me awake." Anyways,
Lord, I have to think. I think I know I came out to myself while I was in college, probably that first year. And I think college is one of those things. I know we've you can laugh about it, but it is eye-opening in a lot of ways. You're away from your, cloister of a life, growing up and whatever, especially if you go away, to college. And you can kind of really be yourself, or learn more about yourself that you maybe kept hidden or maybe pushed to the side because you weren't sure how others would react to it.
and you get a fresh platform.
Yeah, and
nobody knows you, so you're introducing yourself, and you get to introduce yourself as someone. I mean, I was on the buy now, gay later plan.
Hush you. In some ways, yes, I understand, but gosh, I know it was because of like being away from like family and my religious background and everything else that it sort of everything kind of clicked and made sense. And then I start, also yay internet, because that
was Damon and mine's big thing at that time. That surely helps. Is the internet's.
Yep. Like having chat rooms like M for M, back in like the AOL, even Yahoo chat days. I was in Yahoo chat, if you remember.
Oh, girlgay.com.
Or gay.com, or all of those things. Like
I wouldn't be in Austin, Texas if it weren't for gay.com.
But yeah, if you didn't have, like, thank you for the internet. I will honestly say that, because that's kind of where I learned more about myself and was able to represent myself authentically. Yes, I had the veil of the internet as kind of like a small buffer, but eventually you're going to meet somebody, like, you're going to have to talk to someone else. And it was an eye-opening experience for me. God, I know within the first months of me being at college, I realized I was gay and I had my first boyfriend. Granted, the boyfriend was married to a woman and was in my hometown, but that's neither here nor there. That's a whole other story. But it was that allowing myself to kind of understand what I truly felt and how I truly felt. and having a platform, be it gay.com, Yahoo Chat, AOL Chat, to kind of allow that to come out. That was kind of what I needed. I don't know. I don't know if how I would have felt if I had someone like you had, Gary, like the very like flamboyantly like gay person. If that's who I had, I feel like I had someone similar, but oh, stop it. But in general, I don't recall having a conversation with someone one-on-one. You know, I don't recall coming out to one person. I came out to myself first, and then gradually over time, you know, I joined the, it was called Ace League, it's something else now, but it was basically the LGBT group on campus. And that kind of became my thing. And I was fine with that. And it helped, like Jeff, you mentioned, like, you know, the beauty of being away at college is you have a restart. No one really knows you, you know, there. So that really helped kind of like to allow myself to express myself, you know. Although I don't think I ever, no, that's not true. Because yeah, I remember I did drag. I started drag in college. Haha. But yeah, it's a good feeling to have an opportunity, whether it's just a chat online that kind of opens up that door.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not all the way open yet, but at least it's something. And I agree with Jeff, what you said earlier about like, just because National Coming Out Day is today doesn't necessarily mean you have to come out today. I appreciate the date and I appreciate the sentiment behind it, but I also respect those who aren't ready, that can't come out for one reason or another. You know, it's while it's great to have like representation and what have you, it doesn't have to be you, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like you don't have to be the gay person that everybody knows if you don't want to be, or the lesbian, or the, you know, whatever. You don't have to be that person. There we go.
I'm reading the live chat. Some people are revealing some personal things that I think are nice, talking about their coming out. So,
yeah,
I agree with both of you. I think, you know, the coming out is when you choose to do it, whether it has some significance or not. I mean, on this podcast in years past, we've made the joke about how the holidays, it used to seem to be like the prompt to want to come out to your family. But that is not required at all. It is not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I hope in today's day and age, people think through things more and want to have less dramatic effect, so to speak, on people by, you know, when and how and they choose to come out to. So I really kind of feel, you know, we've moved it definitely into a phase of do it your way, when you want, how you want. You know, nobody says you have to throw a ticker tape parade.
No.
That is not a requirement.
I don't recommend using a website to tell your parents.
That's fair.
Personal experience.
I think most people would prefer that you tell them, like, that you invest in them, the way and the energy and the, you know, how much they mean to you is reciprocal to how you tell them. So if they are close to you in your life, you may want to talk to them one-on-one, you know, and have that. And if you feel that you can't, that's okay. Some people are better at communicating in other methods, like writing, you know, a letter, an email, you know, something. Some people choose, you know, a social media outlet to post something. maybe record I don't know, a video. Who knows?
Yeah.
We've got much better options than I had back in 1998, 99, or 2000. I don't remember which year.
Yeah.
All I remember, I was in college at the time. Yeah. And then there's also the process of, as I kind of joked about it a little bit earlier, but the buy now, gay later plan, which is it. I think it's me doing the gradual version of coming out to myself, because when I started, I'm like, it was college. I told my best friend Jen that, hey, I'm bi, and then we started looking at guys and such. And then at a certain point, I don't remember everything that happened that day. All I remember is we were in her dorm room, and we ended up starting to make out, and was getting to the point where she offered to take off her shirt, and I panicked and ran back to my dorm room and didn't talk to her for like a week. Mm-hmm. Or had any connection, and that whole time was me processing that I am totally not into women. I'm like, right. Dumbass, you are not bi. You are totally gay. And like, there were some emotional things. We ended up getting over it, but it was like a week or two. It wasn't that long. But I always like to joke with her, and she knows I'm joking, that she's the one who made me gay.
Lord.
When I understand what you mean when you say that, Jeff. Mm-hmm. When I came out in '92, I initially came out as bisexual. Rich, amongst other gays who I had come out to, all challenged me. I was not happy about the challenge. They all basically, I say challenged, but the act is that they actually outright dismissed my coming out as bisexual. They all basically had the attitude of, girl, you're gay, just whatever. And that really kind of lit a fire under my ass. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, that experience has made me pretty much one of the most defensive people about folks that want to let others know that they are bisexual. Mm-hmm. I'm trying not to say that they want to be bisexual or choose to be bisexual. Mm-hmm. That's not the case. The fact that they choose to talk to people about that and let it be known is the bigger piece. I've dated bisexual men, and it, was an experience in and of itself, because I had to deal with my own prejudice about mm-hmm. wondering about, like, the fact that they're bisexual and what that means about my value. Hello, counseling. So, but the reality is, I get defensive when people, used to say things, and I don't really hear it too much anymore now. But for a long time, I think when we were younger, there was a lot of like, oh, you just haven't met the right person. You haven't made up your mind. You want to have it all, blah, 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 like a whole lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think people are now much more aware of how ignorant that is, and to not really kind of say these things. So how you represent yourself is your selection, whether you choose to be out or not, and what you want to say about that.
Well, and the thing that I kind of learned, like, because I had that kind of some of those experiences as well, was thinking that it was, you're either straight or gay, and all those people who says bi are tricking themselves or something for a long time. And then eventually I came around like, that's really dumb.
Yeah.
Is if somebody says they're bi, they're bi. If and you take it for them as if they're bi the whole time, maybe they'll end up being kind of like me and thinking they're bi to begin with, but then end up going one way or the other. And they may still be like on, because it really is a spectrum. And when we say a spectrum, it's not just like on a scale of like 1 to 5 to where you are. It's more of like a scale of 1 to million. There's all these like tiny micro things where there's hey, I can appreciate a good-looking guy. I think they're very attractive. Do I want to have sex with them? Not really. I'm not really wanting to have sex with guys, but I could find them very attractive. That's probably could be kind of like somewhere between the hetero and midpoint bi, or the other way around. It's like I can find women absolutely attractive and sexy and everything like that, but probably never going to have sex with them. More on the other side, etc. But there's all these kind of like micro things in the meantime, where it's such a big, huge range of where people can be, and I would definitely feel like you could probably categorize somewhere in there this here is considered as bisexual, but maybe they lean a little more to one side or the other, but they're still bisexual or something. You're either super gay or not so gay. Well, you're still gay, you know?
Right. I think the reality is that sexuality is very fluid, and it's constantly shifting and moving. And we, as humans, have a difficult time with fluid concepts because our brain likes to label things and compartmentalize them. So it's left, right, up, down, yes, no, right, wrong, black, white, whatever. And we can recognize like the median variables, the gradation, but we have a hard time with that. It's like, well, is it gray? Is it slate? Is it, you know what I mean? Is it stone? Yeah. Like, people get really kind of pissy.
Are you a top or a bottom? Are you versatile? Or are you kind of like a versatile bottom or a versatile top?
Right. So, when I first came out as bisexual, my whole thing was I knew that I loved looking at women's bodies. Like I could find the beauty of them. I've never had a problem looking at a naked woman's body. But when I was, I don't want to say challenged, I'll say when I was questioned about sex with a woman, I was asked outright, like, have you ever had sex with a woman? No. Would you like to have sex with a woman? Have you thought about, do you desire having sex with women? I was like, no. And that was the definitive, like, then girl, you're gay. Like, like that was the simplicity of the measurement, I guess, at the time back in 92. And I kind of took offense to that. I was like, how dare you try to compartmentalize me and put me in a box and blah, blah, blah. Like I should be able to make the decision for myself. Over time, I quickly came to the realization that they weren't really wrong. I think they were being dismissive of my choice. But in the end, I realized, like, I had three girlfriends in high school. I never had sex with any of them. And looking back, I didn't want to have sex with any of them. Like, it was not a strong desire or whatever. And because I was in college and I had started becoming sexually active, and I learned, like, oh, yes, this, ding, 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 ding. Like, like all the boxes are checked. The fireworks go off. Like, everything's happening. Like, that was the revelation for me. And since then, I have learned more about myself, and I'm like, yeah, I can see naked women like in my presence. It's not going to faze me one way or another. And because I'm not stimulated, because I'm not interested, that has helped me define for myself. I don't see myself as that kind of an individual that I would ascribe myself as bisexual. So like appreciating something does not make you that. I mean, like you could be, this is a really bad analogy. You could be a vegetarian and appreciate, barbecue. It doesn't mean you want to eat the barbecue. It's just kind of like you recognize that it's a thing and it exists and that other people enjoy it, and that's just all there is to it. I don't know if that was a good analogy. Anyways,
yeah, probably not the greatest, but yeah, I can get your idea.
I get what you're getting at.
Like I enjoy watching cooking shows where they cook fish. Am I going to eat it? No.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm reading the chat. Din said the problem with society doesn't allow sexual freedom because the spectrum is so vast, and some people, it's literally a lifestyle, right? Like, I think where the confusion comes from, and why to tie it back. Well, right, to tie it back to wrapping up the show, I think the reason why National Coming Out Day was kind of a thing was because we wanted to have more representation of the people that others didn't know as gay. Because when we came out in the 90s, a lot of the time, if you had a stereotypical job or certain affectations or mannerisms, it was like everybody just knew. So if you were a male nurse, a florist, a hairstylist, who, or worked in the entertainment industry, Broadway, musicals, like, there were all these very stereotypical things. It was kind of like gay, 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 gay. Like everyone just kind of like ascribed or labeled you with whether you liked it or not.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm going to tell a quick story because when I came here under an internship with a theater company here in town, and I was the only gay person. Like everyone else. Well, no, there was another girl. There was another girl, but everyone else was not. Like like everyone was like falling on the hetero side of things. And not only that, I noticed it at other theaters as well. And I was like, what the fuck? I know it's like stereotypical in a lot of ways, but I was just like, where are the gays at? Where are you at? I mean, I eventually found them, but it was funny because at that particular moment in time, I had just come out of college. I was coming into a new city. I was like, I want like gays, like, and this is theater, like you would expect it, but apparently not here. Stupid stereotypes.
Can't get booty because I'm not finding the gays at the theater.
Well, and that was part of what drew me into the bear community in 2000, like 99 into 2000. My like awareness and integration, and then being a part of the bear community at that time, there was a huge representation of non-typical gay men. They were hyper masculine. They were, had these blue collar jobs. It was a lot of like, you wouldn't know until they opened their mouth or, they got naked, that they were gay. It was just kind of one of these things. And, there's been a big journey since then, obviously in the past 20 years, in our community. But yeah, that was another thing about the times that were different then.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And coming out has broadened to be like, you're not just coming out as gay. I mean, that's the three of us were gay, but that's just us. Because now it's coming out as trans, which I actually had a friend from high school within this past month had just messaged me saying, "Hey, are you the deaf that went here?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, are you?" I'm not sure if he wants me to out him, but.
Right.
Yeah. It's best not
or say it. So I'm trying to keep it vague. But I knew him as a her, and he is no
prior
longer
to transition.
her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God!
Yeah.
It's
very.
So it kind of made me super happy, especially because I had lost touch with him for a long time, and actually went looking for some pictures that he drew for me back in the day. I have pictures of drawings that he did.
Got it. Yeah.
And I couldn't find it on my phone, and I really need to like take pictures of them because he even had them framed for me and everything. It was so sweet.
Oh.
So, but
Yeah.
I'm very, very happy for him and his partner. I don't think he ever said if it was his husband or not, but now that I know, and it also kind of gives me a thing where I've become a little more aware of, and I think this is kind of the point of coming out days, is this brought, I think this has kind of clicked in my mind, the act of pronouns and making sure you're using the correct pronouns. Like even in one of the Discords, I even just updated my username to have my username dash he him, because those are my pronouns, to kind of indicate that and kind of promote that sort of thing because I've seen it in some other places as well. But yeah, I think that's one thing that clicked, which is also one way that helps, like, I didn't really personally know. Like, there are people like Pup Cruise, for example. They're trans too, and I had a really big problem. And Perrin, it's another one. Both of these people have been on the show. Who I had for the longest time the hard time of making sure that I'm using the correct pronouns and actually thinking about the pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
And while I kind of know them through the podcast and acquaintantly, I don't know if that's a really bad word. I knew this person in high school, and we hung out together. We had jokes, and we had a whole lot of fun together. You were a good friend of mine. And then when he finally reached out to me, and he didn't say anything right away, just kind of like identify him, like, oh, really? And then because his name was different, I go, I don't want to be presumptuous because I'm trying to be polite and everything. Can I ask what your pronouns are? And then he said he, and I'm like, cool. And he says, that's not presumptuous. And I'm like, okay, cool. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of that shy guy. I don't want to offend or anything or cause any trouble. So it kind of gave me that little click of how things are. And I think that's part of what National Coming Out Day is trying to do, is trying to be like, hey, if you want to really make sure that everybody is approaching you how you are, you need to make sure that they know. Some people, like I think in the chat they mentioned, is like, sometimes you don't need to come out to people. You just kind of figure it out on their own. That case, in some sense, you're coming out just from being around them and everything. But having these exposures to different type of people and everything can also help them click in other areas of the world. So that's my little rant. I don't know, rant explanation. I don't know. Anything else, or is that the end?
There was something that you said, and I completely lost my train of thought just now. Sorry. No, I mean, I think that there will be more to discuss in the future at some point. Maybe it'll be another 5 years before we revisit the topic. Who knows?
Speaking of which, if you guys want us to revisit any topic, maybe see if we got any updates about something else, so let us know. There's plenty of ways to do that. Segway. Get my thing up. You can pop over to our website, cupsoutloud.com. You can leave a comment on the blog. You can shoot us an email at cupsoutloud@gmail.com. If you want to just tell us, you can just give us a ring at 361-COL-TALK. That's 361-265-8255. You can reach us on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and YouTube at Cubs Out Loud in the appropriate place of the URL. You can even just chat with us at tinyworld.com/telegram-COL. You can also see we were recording these shows live at tinyworld.com/calendar-COL. Usually we know by near the end of the week or on the Sundays. Depends on how busy we are. We're real people with real jobs and everything, and we're doing this out of love of it. Anyways, but you can support us too by going over to our store on Zazzle at zazzle.com/cupsoutloud. Where you can get things such as this Consent is My Foreplay tank top that I'm wearing, or any type of different types of shirts with the same design. We do have a trans one. We do have a drag one. We do have pup, leather, and bear versions. Is that all the versions? Am I missing anything?
Yes.
Okay.
No, that's all of them.
Sometimes I can't remember what our quote-unquote inventory is since it's paid for. Hey, a little bit better version of a t-shirt version of what I'm wearing.
There's the bear one.
Yeah.
That Gary is showing us.
Hey, I'm wearing a bear one too. It's tank top.
I was gonna wear this one tonight, but then I was like, oh, but it's National Coming Out Day, and I have a Haunters Against Hate t-shirt in like kind of rainbowish colors, and my Disney Imagineering rainbow embroidered hat. So it's gay, or at least I'm making it that way.
And I wore a turban.
And you got a unicorn shirt on.
Yes. Yes.
Or
With the
was it
rainbow.
My Little Pony? I don't know.
It's a unicorn with the rainbow.
Anyways, we got plenty of stuff, including other things like mugs and hats and backpacks and such like that over at Zazzle/Comes Out Loud. You can also pop over to Patreon, become a patron, subscribe to us for every month where you can get these shows a little bit early, including the post and pre-show at patreon.com/comesoutloud. Or if you just want to send us some cash just to see if we can help out on boosting up what we have. Maybe the next person to get a new computer would be Gary. You can do that at paypal.me/comesoutloud. You could rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or subscribe to us on Spotify, Google Play, and which I think the Google Play stuff is going to become moving over to YouTube Music. If I'm getting it correctly, their messaging's kind of weird, but it'll be through the podcast app on Android devices. And I think you can also get it Google Podcasts or something. I don't know what it's called. I don't deal with that stuff. I just stick with Apple stuff. And Amazon Music is going to have podcasts, and we should be listed there as well. I still need to figure out that link. I've been lazy on that. In any case, you can find me anywhere on the internet. Box Cub, Box. Something or other. You can find me at Windjam on Twitch on Sunday mornings or in the afternoons. Playing some D&D. We were having some streaming issues, so you didn't get to see all the Battle Royale. Kriv got through it because I accidentally rezzed him.
Oh, no.
Necessarily an accidental res, but I didn't think what was going to happen was going to happen. So, in any case, he won. He gets the very special item.
Yay.
Damon?
If you wish to get in touch with me, you can find me as TheaterCub79 on most bear-related sites or on Facebook. Or you can find me as pup_umbra on Twitter. The Twitter is definitely not safe for work.
If you would like to get in touch with me online, I can pretty much be found anywhere as Gambler73. For those of you watching the video feed, you were kind of confused. I was re-showing my shirt because someone in the live chat asked me to show it. So there you go. I think that's the shirt they meant. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think it's the one that you were wearing because we can't see the bottom of it.
Oh, yeah. So it's kind of this kind of haunted skull in a rainbow thing. It says Hunters Against Hate in white at the bottom. It says hashtag we are all family, but this was an exclusive limited edition design and it doesn't exist anymore.
So you can't get it. So no,
you'd have to go to eBay online to find this bitch. Not that I'm selling this one. This is mine. But I'm just saying Paul at Hunters Against Hate doesn't have it anymore. But he has a ton of selections to choose from, including a new fun line of Clue-based Hunters Against Hate shirts that came out. So,
like Clue the game?
Yes. Clue the game / movie.
The movie is so good.
We might have to have Paul on to revisit how things are going with HAH because he's on his fifth book, I think.
Hey, and you know what? It's almost that time of year too.
It is. All right.
With that, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Ciao for now. Yeah.
I'm so fucking loving that you can't literally disappear. Love it.
You're camouflaged.
Yeah. Womp womp. It's all good.
Hmm.
Oh gosh, I have not looked at his site in a while.
Who's?
Oh,
Who's?
oh, that's right. Hunters Against Hate, against the t-shirts. I've seen his occasional post, but I have not looked at the site in a while.
I like what you said. Okay, all right. It's spoopy season, a month long.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the new way we say it? I don't know.
Spoopy.
I
Yeah.
said I like it because Owen said spooky.
It's-
You said spoopy.
Well, that's what I've seen other people say.
Mhm.
Spoopy is an internet slang used to describe something that is spooky, but in a comical or cute way, such as a puppy in a ghost costume or a goofy Halloween video.
Mm-hmm.
It is based on a viral picture of a Halloween decoration that misspelled spooky as spoopy, and then there's a picture of it.
And now we know. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
We're also predictable.
But I do appreciate.
Oh my god, I didn't realize you had the sound clip of that.
You were the one who found it for me, I think.
Probably. I just didn't know that you had it. That's all.
Yeah, there are some things that I just don't like get rid of.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah, it's so interesting. Okay, now I have to look at the books. Books are there.
Yeah, we should probably do a little like look back on some of the topics that we covered and see if there might be stuff to
Update.
revisit.
Mm. Yeah, that's possible. All right. Yes, I agree. Although, we've been doing this for a while. So,
We probably have plenty of stuff to revisit.
mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Hey, this is probably about a half an hour shorter than last week.
Ha, ha, ha.
And with that,
I'm gonna stop streaming.